tienes, debajo de esas dos cejas, debajo de esas dos cejas, qué bonitos ojos tienes. Ellos me quieren mirar.
Well, Mr. Jago, I appreciate you made some time for us because you must be a very, very busy man.
That's at least the statements. It's very, very hectic, but most importantly, most enjoyable. I'm having a great time.
You're the executive manager of the whole tournament. That must be a hard job.
Yes, it is, but it's like all organisations. If you've got good staff and good people, then it makes it that much easier. And we're very, very lucky. We have a tremendous group of people who are very experienced, and we have a backup of 1,600 volunteers. It's just an incredible organisation.
What's the secret behind the success?
I guess probably the two things. One would be the cooperation of all the teams that come in, much like Cambuur, working with Sevi, and we get a lot of teams from internationals, the USA, from all over the states, and then you put our 1,500 volunteers with it, and that's what leads, I think, to the operational and the enjoyment and the diversity, the cultural aspect of the tournament.
Well, I think a long experience, and we've had built a reputation of doing things what we'd like to think correctly, and therefore we've been able to attract all the top soccer clubs from around the world, and not only the professional clubs but also amateur clubs and all the American top youth teams. So that's our reputation, and we have the finest refereeing because we get FIFA referees, international referees. So it's the quality of the tournament and the organisation of the tournament that attracts the people.
But you got some real big names playing over here. How did you manage that?
Well, we work. Part of it is in partnership with our major sponsor, Adidas, on the sports side. And for example, we work together with them to get Liverpool and Benfica. And we have, for example, in the Super Group, Leicester City, that we've had a working agreement for about the last 10 years with the English Premier League. They sent their academy winner. That was Leicester City this year. The Mexican teams, I've been working with them for 14 years. They all fight and want to get in, and unfortunately, we can only take 3. It was a very select group of 12 teams, and so it's different contacts that we've had, and that really goes down through all of the age groups. It's the contacts that we've built up over the years.
Is there any chance the tournament is growing bigger as it is?
No, it's not going to grow bigger in numbers. So 180 teams is what we need. We can cope with that. It's fine. It's disappointing for some. We refused 167. We took 180, but we refused 167, and that's great. That means we've got a lot of teams want to come and play in our tournament. So we can be very selective, but no, we feel 180 is just right in the 7-8 age groups that we have.
Some of the contacts is much like your general manager, Alex Palma. He and I have been good friends for many years. Last time I was in Brazil, in Curitiba, Alex was on the trip with us with Miguel de Lima, and I've talked to him a number of times since he moved back to Holland. But I was just talking to Sevi, and one of these days we're going to get him back over here.
Coming into a stadium like this makes it very professional, very attractive to all the teams. They all want to play here. We have this marvellous complex, so we've got the most beautiful facilities, and consequently, that makes it easier for us to attract good teams and have a good standard. My responsibility now, I have to build a soccer audience. The Americans we're still a participation sport. We're not yet a spectator sport, and that's what we have to work on, so that we get them all here to see this good soccer.
But soccer is knocking at the door in USA.
Oh yes, I think the United States is a sleeping giant. Really, honestly, I think a few years down the line, you're going to see very strong United States national teams. They're already doing very well at all age levels. They got to quarterfinals of the World Cup in Japan and Korea. Lots of young children. I think we have 3.1 million registered children. So the cream will come to the top, and this sport will be up there. Won't have to take the place of other American sports like basketball, baseball, but it will be right alongside them.
When he was coaching here in the United States, we became friends, and I respect Alex and his ability to identify talent, and I think that's one of his strong suits. And when he took over as the general manager for the club, first thing he did was call me, and I want to send our team. and of course they were here last year and again this year, and we look forward to seeing them for many years to come in the future.
Everything we do is for the boys, and we want them to come. You know, we don't have any losers here. Everybody's a winner as far as we're concerned, because of the opportunity to meet people from all over the world, different cultures, and have that opportunity for 10 days to live together, play together, have fun together. That's the object of the exercise. The children are the ones that matter.
We've seen in practice that our boys really made some friends overseas.
Oh yes, I mean the friendships are just incredible. We have so many stories. Very quickly, we have a lady in our office who did a homestay 12 years ago, and she still every year, from a Costa Rican boy, she gets a birthday card or a Christmas card or a telephone call from that boy, who's now 26 years of age. You know, he was a 12-year-old when he stayed with her. He's now 26 years old, and so many stories like that. And that's what it's about. It's, you know, the sport's one thing, but there are friendships made, and many friendships continued for many years.
And even David Beckham, who played here last week, went to see his family.
That's right. 16 years since he saw that family, and little did they all know 16 years ago that little David Beckham, a 15-year-old, would be Mr. David Beckham of today's soccer world. So that's, you know, and there are many more. Rooney's, Raul's, Michael Owens, there's so many, Langdon Donovan. The list of ex-boys who've gone through here is just incredible.
Next year there will be the 30th time of the Dallas Cup. In Holland we call it a lustrum. How do we call it over here?
30th anniversary.
Will there be a special edition of the Dallas Cup?
We're looking at a lot of different things. In fact, Gordon and I were just talking to Sevi. You know, different things, activities outside the stadium, mariachi bands, interaction for the kids to enjoy, and then of course, you know, then lining up the talent for the supergroup. When we had our 25th anniversary about 4 years ago, the opening match was Real Madrid versus Manchester United. So I don't know how we're going to top that one, but that's what we're shooting to top.
Well, Mr. Jones, let me tell you on behalf of the boys, we have had a great time over here.
I appreciate that, and like I said, look forward to having you back many times, and hopefully Alex will see this, and he'll call me up and tell me how it's being said in Dutch, and I won't understand a word of it.